before this video starts, I want to give out a massive shout out to the 2 members of the Boy Man Beard YouTube channel, NoxxGaming and Cosmo. Thank you so much for your beard membership. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another video, and welcome to my guest, Mr. Well, actually, what should I call you? Because here, what we're going to be talking about, this side actually of me, it's called NoxxGaming, but you go by also Poker Trainer Nox. So, how am I calling you today, good sir?
You can call me Nox. The Nox is great. That's what I normally go by. Everyone calls me Nox.
Excellent. So, Nox, welcome, my friend. Appreciate having you on. So, the reason we're here today is because I did some videos recently talking about Hakum, the situation with Sony, bannings, selling on the black market, stuff like that. A lot of people were coming out saying, boycott Sony, and we got to talking off camera, and you told me you're into the retro achievements, and a lot of people have actually mentioned retro achievements. I've mentioned retro achievements before. I've dabbled in retro achievements. I did videos on retro achievements, but it never really kind of went anywhere. A lot of people do it on Twitch, but I don't think there's any. I'm not sure how many dedicated channels there are. I didn't really do the research on that, but you've been heavily into it, like more into it than I've even knew. So I suppose my first sort of question is, why retro achievements? Why not actual achievements on Steam, PlayStation, Xbox, anything like that? Why retro achievements?
So retro achievements is something I always loved, because retro gaming. I love retro gaming. I love playing the games that I grew up with. So stuff like like the old Tekkens, for example. You can see that one of the last games I played is Tekken Tag on PlayStation 2.
That's right, yeah.
So like there's something about the retro. You're getting a score for these retro games that you never got in the past, So there's the people who make these sets on the website. You can go in and unlock some of these memories as a child and be like, oh yeah, like I got this achievement like when I was or similar, like I got this achievement when I was like 7 years old. I'm gonna go back and do it again now. I'm in my like 20s or 30s,
Yeah.
So there is a big side to that pulls me back to this website. This website's fantastic. It's made by the community and run by the community, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. So sticking with the sort of like what you said about going back to the old school gaming, like for me, when I used to casually boot up, I don't know, let's say the Tekken, because we're talking about Tekken. I boot up Tekken, I play it for an hour, and I get all the characters unlocked or whatever, and I'm like, okay, I've done this before 1,000 times when I was a kid. But now, as you say, you can play it again, but you can be rewarded with achievements for that. Now,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But it should be said that when you achieve these rewards, they are seen by hundreds of other, players. I mean, I say hundreds. There's probably thousands of other players on this website. But when I speak to somebody and I talk to them about retro achievements, I don't know how you feel about this, but when I mention this to them, they have no idea what I'm talking about. And because it's using emulators, and a lot of people aren't really good at that. So how could you convince somebody, like you say, it's going back into the history, it's hitting on nostalgia, it's like playing a game you used to play and you're getting that achievement. How could you convince someone to A, learn how to use an emulator, B, sit down and set up on this website and, have the time to do it? And I suppose C would be like, what can they do cumulatively with retro achievements? Like once you've done it, obviously you get the rewards and stuff like that, but what can you achieve with it? Like what can you do?
So like go to the point A that you made. We're living in the world now where like everything is on our fingertips, right? So YouTube is a big thing. So like you can Google how to run retro achievements on PlayStation 1, for example, and you'll get probably about 1,000 videos in front of you showing you how to put retro achievements onto DuckStation, which is a PlayStation 1 emulator. So it's very easy. All you need to do is like make an account on the website. So you just go to retroachievements.org, you just create an account, and then you use your login details onto that, put them onto the emulator itself. So what was the third one you made again? What was the question?
Well, that's the second point I was trying to make was how could you convince somebody who has no idea what an emulator is, how to use an emulator, set an emulator up? how could you convince them to say it's so easy and so simple? Like, what would make them want to do that? Like, I mean, obviously, like you say, you're hitting the nostalgia, yeah, but there's a massive market for, like, I mean, my question's starting to like expand a little bit, but there's a massive market for, you know, physical gaming, retro. So why would they be convinced to do it like this to get obviously just to get achievements, yeah, but why would that alone convince them? Do you think?
I would say so. I think I've been playing emulation for quite a while. Like, I own quite a lot of physical copies of games. But there's something about emulation I've always had that's nice to have. Like, I can just don't have to grab all of my PlayStation 2 and set it all up, all the cables everywhere. So emulation, I have pretty much all my games on my hard drive. I can play them there and then. And Retro Achievements is something that I can convert and sort of show off, or, you know, there'll be some challenges on that website that are made by the developer of that certain game. And I could be like, oh yeah, like, oh, I remember doing that. Like we said, like, I can go and get an achievement for that. I can go and get some gamer score. So, you know, like when people like do the achievement hunting or trophy hunting on PlayStation, it's just as similar to that, but on Retro Achievements. Like, there is something about, so on Retro Achievements, there's something called mastering. Mastering is like doing all the achievements in hardcore mode, which I'll go into hardcore mode soon. But that is basically, mastering is like the platinum of on the PlayStation trophy. So right. there is something, you know, there is something there to go get back onto the game and go, oh yeah, like I did this as a kid. I'm going to do it again, but I'm actually going to get some reward from that. Right. And it's just that little hit of dopamine, you know, when you hit the platinum on PlayStation 3, there's that hit of dopamine, and you're like, yes, I conquered that game. Yeah. That is exactly what happens on Retro Achievements. When you see that mastered sign come up and it tells you how long it took you to master the game and stuff, there is just that little hit, like, yes, I've done it, and I'm going to climb that leaderboard.
It's quite interesting you say, you talked about, like, in that there you said about developers putting achievements on. That's something I never knew. So I've just learned something there, because as far as I was aware, using this website, it was mainly people who would request sets. Now, you could probably go into a bit more detail, but from my understanding, a set, and how I've always done it, is a game hasn't got any achievements. It's on the website, you can see it, but it has nothing to achieve. So people put in requests. The more requests it gets, the popular it becomes. The more popular it becomes, someone's likely to pick it up and create achievements for it. I think they put into a community vote, and then they get put out, and then the list is done. And if I just scroll, like, I'm obviously on your page at the moment, but we'll go back to that. If I go to games, sorry, if I go to the main menu again, sorry. These are the new sets and revisions here, and Forbidden Siren 2 has only just been added an hour ago, according to this website. So something like that. Let's take Forbidden Siren 2 as an example. Why has it taken so long for a game like that, is clearly beloved, and it's such a rare title physically to hold? It's quite expensive. I've seen it physically when I've seen how much it costs in certain shops. Why has it taken so long for this game to get a set, do you think?
So, I'm not a developer. I know very little about the development side of what goes on. I'm just a player, really. But what, from my understanding, is that some games have to be coded. The games have to be kind of opened up, looked at all the code, and you have to go in and make sure that the achievements trigger hitting that certain code. So some games are a lot more complex than others, and that your example there is a PlayStation 2 game. So from what I understand, is that game is a lot more complex to, like, I don't know, a Game Boy game or a Game Boy Advance or a Sega Mega Drive game. So the codes are a lot more complex on those games. So it does take a long time for these people to do it. Sometimes, you know, they're a one-man army, so, you know, they're just like your average Joe. They go to work, and then they have to go. They have to then, you know, when they're back home from work, they have to sit through tons of code to try and get the game to trigger these achievements. So it is a lot of work, and that's what I mean. It's built, when I say built by the community and ran by the community, it's these guys right here that when they do these develop these games for the website, is that they keep helping the community push on and on and on, adding more and more and more games. There are so many games right now on Retro Achievements, so
Right.
many,
Yeah.
and it just keeps going. All these classical games, like one, for example, that I've been looking at for probably just over a year is 007 Nightfire on the PlayStation 2.
Right.
Don't
Right.
know if you remember that one.
I do.
That was a good. That was a game that childhood game that I loved, and I've been looking for it for ages. And pressed the request set button, and as of like 2 weeks ago, it got added as a set. So I'm starting to work my way through that one also.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, I'm sort of similar where there are certain games I wanted sets for. Max Payne was one that got a set. Bouncer got a set. Tenchu 2 that eventually got a set. So I suppose you mentioned hardcore earlier, so let's break it down a little bit. So I'm on the website now. Okay, I've registered and I'm looking through and I'm like, what do I want to play? What game really stands out to me? So for example, we'll play a game that was one of my treasured games is Tenchu 2. I love this game, massive fan of it. I requested a set for it. If it loads, which is not loading. And now it will. So yeah, I requested a set for it. It did get added eventually. I will say this website does take a little while to load. Like don't blame my internet. Right, so yeah, so Tenchu 2 Birth of the Stealth Assassins, okay? Now let's break this down. There's an example. Let's break this down, right? Okay, so I've got my game. I'm like, right, excellent. I want to play it. I've got my emulator installed. I know what version of the game I need. Now, it has to be mentioned, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it's mostly USA versions.
So, yeah, so your best bet, so like for anyone who wants to kind of get into this and look at, your best bet is to, on the right side, underneath the cover, it says supported game files.
Right, yep.
If you click on that, and there you go, there are all the games for all the regions right there. That's what will be supported on the website.
Okay. These aren't links to the actual the game either, because that's illegal, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, you cannot. They are not. They are not. They're not links. You cannot download them from this website. You have to find your own means of doing that. But it will show you that this version of the game will run on the PlayStation emulator or on one specific game emulator.
Yeah, right. So let's say I've got my game now. Okay, I've got my emulator. I'm ready to go. I go into the emulator. I won't go into the nitty-gritty of the emulator because that's something else that you can figure out. Look on some guides for that.
There's tons of guides. Tons of guides for this.
We'll focus solely on the Retro Achievement site. So basically, I'm ready to go. Okay, now, as somebody, let's say somebody experiences yourself and me who's played a few retro games, and take somebody new. From your understanding, let's take it from your perspective first. When you look at this list, 154 achievements worth 1,400 points. So 5196. I don't know what that means. What does this mean to me, or what does it mean to you? First, what does that mean to you?
So from what I believe, the one in the blue score is. Let me just double check this because I don't want to sell you down a road.
Sorry, don't worry. I mean, someone might come in and watch this and be like, "Hold on a minute, what's he talking about?"
So so that's weird. So the points are worth. So where it says there are is it 154 achievements worth 1,400.
Yeah.
So that is the gamer score. That part there.
Right.
That's the gamer score, and then obviously next to it you've got retro points. So it's a measurement. The website describes it as a measurement of rarity and estimated difficulty derived from points, numbers of achievers, and number of players. So that's basically saying that when you complete this game or master this game, so to speak, that it's the difficulty. You get a certain amount of points because of how difficult this set is. So if you, on the top right where your profile is, in that little icon is, that's all your score there. So whatever that white score is, you've got yourself a number of retro points. So you've got yourself some extra points because of the rarity of those games that you've been completing.
I see. So right, okay, excellent. So from your point of view, your opinion, how rare is this game to get?
To master, so I have not done Tenchu 2. I love this game. I've not got around to it. I know somebody who has just mastered it. Shout out to Bazillion. He's just mastered this probably about a month or 2 months ago, something like that. From what I understand, he kind of breezed through it because he had the knowledge of the game.
Yeah.
But the good thing about this website is, even if you don't have knowledge of the game, most of these achievements are, if you scroll down to the near enough the bottom, there are comment sections, and the comment sections help you a lot.
Let's go to the comments.
Yeah, there's the recent comments wall. Excuse me. So you got the recent comments wall. That helps you a lot. Sometimes, if you click on an achievement as well,
right,
there's like another comment section for that specific achievement. Sorry. And that helps you as well. So there is a lot of knowledge on the game, and obviously with these games being years old,
yeah,
there are tons of guides to help you and kind of hold your hand through some of these unlocks, whatever the unlock may be.
Yeah. So information wise, we talked about a little bit about the point system. So they used it. They call it gamer score. Is that what they officially call it? A gamer score?
They call it I think it's just retro. Is it retro points that they call it? It's just points. Yeah, it's just points. That's what it's called.
Okay, so let's say for instance, I started my journey on this game. What would you say? Would it be good to say focus on just one tile? Could you focus on many tiles? Do you treat it as if would you treat it the same as you would if you were doing it on the PlayStation or the Xbox, for example? Running multiple titles at once. Do you think that would burn you out, or do you think let's just do one, focus on one, get me my points, see my name up in lights, and continue? Like, how would you approach it?
What I would suggest is just go with the games that you have nostalgia for, that you know very well to begin with. Go for games. A lot of people go for the Paper Mario on the N64. That's a classic game. A lot of points in that also. They're just, like I say, just stick to the games that you have nostalgia for and somewhat well. But you can play up to many games as you want. So like I could play something on the PlayStation 2 for an hour, and then go something to the PlayStation 1, and then go something to the N64. So for me personally, I jump around from game to game.
Yeah.
But only because, like, if I get kind of burnt out, or if I go, do you know what, I don't feel like doing this. Like, for instance, Resident Evil 3 with the epilogues.
Yeah.
The epilogue system, you have to complete the game 8 times before you get all the 8 epilogues. So I've already done it like 5 times. I'm like, right, I don't really want to do it, another 4 times or another 3 times. So I'm just gonna go and play something else. So I'll go and play some silly game on the Game Boy Advance or something like that, and go, do you know what, not Tekken Tag, Tekken Advance is out. I can go play that. So I can go master that or work to my progression of doing that, because at the moment I'm going through all the Tekken games.
Yeah.
So I've gone through Tekken 1 to 3 at the moment, and I've almost done Tekken 4 and 5. I'm like 95% on Tekken 4.
Yeah, because Tekken 4
the same Tekken 5.
Yeah, Tekken 4 is the one I've done as well. I've done half of 1, 2, and 3. I've not finished them fully. But so we're talking about points. What is it that is it the game that attracts you, or is it the points that attract you? Because I know, let's take somebody who's not yourself, maybe someone who's hungry for these achievements. They love it. Do you think they'd be attracted by the game or by the points? What's more appealing?
By the points. The points is what drives, I would say, probably the most of this community, because there is something at the moment. It's been running for a few years. There's something called Peak Streak. And Peak Streak is essentially mastering a game a day. And if you master a game for 30 days in a row, so a month, you get a badge on your profile on your wall. And then it goes on for like 60 days, 120 days. And there's like a badge for that. It gets added to your wall. So there are a lot of games on Retro Achievements that are like homebrews. They're like hacked games. They're like, the Kaizo games for the Marios. There was like so many different versions of Mario on the NES. There's like different hacks for that. There's a lot of achievements for those.
Right.
And so there are a lot of easy games that you can master. So there is a lot of people hungry for points.
Right. Okay. So,
and that's what drives that community.
so in your estimation, how long have you been using Retro Achievements now? How long would you say?
So officially on the website, I've been running since March 2021.
Yeah.
I have taken and I've been playing a little bit here and there. I would say I've been hitting it hard this last 6 months.
Yeah.
I've been just smashing and I've been going for games as well that like you couldn't master overnight. I've been doing a lot of I've done a lot of silly games, like ones I've done in a night, but I've been doing on the side. But the main games, like we just said, like the Tekken games,
Yeah.
they can't really. I mean, unless you sat there and you knew the game very, very, very well, you couldn't master that overnight.
Yeah.
And I've been working through the classical Resident Evils. So at this moment in time, I have Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3 right now mastered.
Excellent.
So I'm gonna go. There's the Resident Evil 1 was the DualShock version, and there is the first version of Resident Evil 1 that I'm working on right now.
Okay, right. Excellent.
They actually set just went up not so long ago for that.
Oh, interesting. So everyone will be jumping on that if they're a big fan of RE.
Yeah.
So let's say we didn't. I mean, my introduction of it was pretty poor. I'll be honest, because I'm very ill if no one's noticed.
Yes,
so I'm kind of like
something as well.
So I'll kind of rewind a little bit. It kind of ties into what we're talking about now. So you've been doing the retro achievements, but what is your current content? Like, what do you do on stream? Like, what do you do?
So at the moment, I'm having a little break from streaming. I've had a little bit of family issues, but I won't go into that. But I've kind of come back. But what I used to do is I used to be a Resident Evil speedrunner, like the classical Resident Evils. We used to speedrun at Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3 on various ports, the PlayStation, the PC port. Now I kind of went over to the Pokemon side, so I do a Pokemon content. I love my Pokemon. If you haven't couldn't tell already,
Yeah.
my Dratini right there. I'm a shiny hunter over there, so I look for the special type of Pokemon. I would say, like the different colored variant Pokemon. And it takes patience. So there is actually, believe it or not, this kind of ties in nicely with the retro achievements. There is a set at the moment I'm looking at in Fire Red, which is Pokemon Fire Red. There is a shiny set, a shiny only set, and it's absolute torture. But you have to get every single shiny in the game, and you get the achievement points for that.
Wow.
So I am looking at that, but that is like something you couldn't do probably in 6 months.
Wow.
It'd be like a year.
Wow.
So there is some very, very hard ones to do, but they're like, but you get rewards from that. Not only getting a shiny Pokemon, you are getting retro achievements points too. So,
well, it ties into what you said about the nostalgia. You're going back to an old game and you're playing it again, but you're being rewarded for things that you would have just done casually for fun. Now, when you're doing it, it's like it's the love of the grind and it's the love of the points. The like you said, the dopamine hit when you hear that bloop. Like the
bloop down,
exactly
the unlock rate.
Which then leads me to another next question actually, which is quite nice because like I was admitted to you at the start, I don't write my stuff down. I just fly off, I just go.
Yeah.
So which leads me to my next question is, when you come back to doing your stream and you do the return, why not this? Why not this?
That's something I'm going to be doing because since I've been having my break, I've been hitting this website hard. So I am looking to bring this content to my streams. I'm gonna probably do my Pokemon stuff as well, but I think that this might actually take over for most of my time. So I'm not sure how I'm gonna do it yet, but no, this is gonna. I really want to do this, and you know what we didn't touch upon, which is gonna be great, is even not only if you have memories of childhood playing this game. You could find games on this website and go, I've never played that before, and go look at the set and go, do you know what? You don't even have to be driven by the achievements. You could play a game and go, oh, do you know what? I'm really, really enjoying this game. Yeah. I'm gonna go master it now. And you could find gems on this website that you've never played before, never seen before, and go, do you know what? I'm gonna go and master this game now because I actually really enjoy it. Because the retro achievements, there is a system, so there is you've beaten the game, beaten it in softcore mode, and then there's mastering, which is you finish all the achievements in hardcore mode. So most of these achievements are marked, so they're like progression marked. So it's once you get the achievements for like mainly it's like the story of the game. So once you played the story, finished the story, the game will flag up on the retro achievements as you've just beaten the game.
Right.
Not mastered, so you've beaten it. So even if you just leave it on beaten, that's perfectly respectable. So there is that, but then you could go, oh, do you know what? I really, really enjoyed that game. I want to do a second playthrough of this game and actually go ahead and master it. So there is, there is other things that you could do with this website.
Yeah.
And find great games.
I was going to say as well, leading into my next thing was like, so when you come back, you say you want to decide where to put this content. You want to do this because you're really enjoying it. It seems like you really enjoy it based on your profile page. I mean, if we can go back there, I believe. If I don't mess this up, one more, I believe. Yeah. So, pardon me. So clearly you've done quite a few, and like I say, you mentioned it earlier. I didn't know this. We typed in, didn't we, Resident Evil 3.
Oh yeah.
When it loads, just so people could see this on here, so I'm not like talking out my arse. So Resident Evil 3 for the PlayStation. If we go down here onto the latest masters, and there you are, right there.
Yeah, I've just finished it as of last night. Yeah.
Just finished it, fantastic. And then we go down to the leaderboards, which is another incredible thing. Again, leaderboards. There are leaderboards for a lot of titles, or just generally titles that have time attacks.
A lot, yeah. So yeah, like you said, a lot of games that have time attacks. Some games are actually quite innovative. And they have, like get out of this room as fast as you can, or and there's leaderboards for that. Or finish this level as fast as you can. And there's extra elements to retro achievements that people sometimes might not see. So the game will. So when you go in, the game will go right timing this certain mode. You're like, I've never done this before. Like what? It's a bit overwhelming.
Yeah.
And then it will pop up, but there is a lot on this website for leaderboard systems.
Yeah. So in your experience of like doing, before we continue, like I just want to say, like, here you are for like, time attacks, especially, like you are recognised for your achievements, essentially. So which is really nice. So let's say, for instance, you come back on, and people say this a lot. When I first started streaming, I don't know if it's the same for you. A lot of people, I don't know. I mean, we obviously start with speedrunning, but for me, a lot of people would say you've got to find a niche, you've got to find something that really catches, and then people kind of come and gravitate towards that. You had your speed running, I had my I think it was like the mods for Resident Evil.
Mod scene, yeah, that's
right. So both caught fire, both took us on our different directions, but eventually joined together, created our friendship. So what I want to say is there a scene for this on YouTube, Twitch, or any other sort of community site where people can interact? Is there a scene for this? Because when I type in a game on Twitch, generally most times games like this, well, Resident Evil 3 gets played, let's be honest, but obscure games like you said, Attention to again as an easy example, very rare, very seldom do I see anybody play that game. So where are these people? Who are these people that are doing this? Where do they live? How can we meet?
Yeah. It's a very, very good question actually, and there is I would say probably like I don't know. I wouldn't like to say actually how much that would go into this. Like how many people are actively retro achievement hunting on Twitch or live streaming it. But there is a community for it. There is even a podcast.
Interesting.
On there, there is a number of episodes on it right now. So there is little bits, but I couldn't point you in the right direction of where to go find these people. They either have to have it as like their tag on Twitch or on their YouTube, and you search it on the bar and find somebody doing it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say that there is a huge base. Like, correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section or something. That maybe somebody could point me in the right direction. To be honest, I haven't really been searching for live streamers like all that much recently, and looking for it. I've been just keeping myself to myself, and just smashing through these titles.
Yeah.
But I am actually interested to know if there's actually a huge community base out there doing it right now. But like I say, there is a podcast. I have been listening to a podcast. Shout out to the Retro Achievements podcast.
Nice. Maybe if they see this, or if they ever go on YouTube themselves, maybe they'll see this and they'll be like, hold on. I mean, it'd be good to chat to them, actually. It'd be good to chat to people that get that are behind the scenes on this, because, I mean, not to cut you off, but I remember like years ago there was a bit of paper I saw once. I wish I had it for reference, but it was somebody who kind of drew a kind of like an idea. They had an idea, right? And it was a PlayStation. It had a line, and it had a game, and then it said something in that game starts like an element. That element then triggered an achievement, and then that achievement then triggered to something else. Like it was like a system. It was like an idea at the time. This was years and years ago. I saw this, and I thought to myself, "Wow, that'd be so cool if that was real."
Yeah, that sounds cool.
And here it is, and here it is. So, I suppose that leads me into my next question: is what is like, as far as this is now, has it reached its full potential?
No.
No.
There is so everything on Retro Achievements is pre Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 era. So everything before that you could get your achievements or your trophies for. So there is still a number of consoles that have not been added to the website. I believe the last console which was added probably about 6 months ago was GameCube. They've just started doing GameCube. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's probably the latest. So GameCube is the latest.
GameCube. There's GameCube. Let's have a look at GameCube quickly. Okay, so titles wise, I'm just scrolling again. There's a lot now. Yeah. Okay, no, not that many. That's one page. That's one page of titles. But yeah, let's have a look what we've got here. So there's one game I'm looking for already, and you'll probably know what I'm thinking of. It's in the M section, and there it is. Metal Gear Solid. Sorry, Metal Slug. Oh, okay, it's a special disc. This is not actually it's Metal Gear Solid, but it's not the Metal Gear Solid I'm thinking of.
There's no.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Sorry, the Twin.
So I was going to say. I was literally going to say it. I'm pretty sure I've seen this.
So this is a game, for instance, like that would bring me in. I mean, I've got this physical, but I mean, to set up a GameCube and do all that is a pain in the ass. But yeah, this is something I would definitely be interested in. I think it'd be a fantastic, list to go through.
So this set is made by the author of this set is Will White Warrior. Shout out to him. He does shout out to them. I believe that they do a lot of Metal Gear Solid achievements. So the guy Bez, who I was Brazilian, who I was just telling you about, he's been doing the PSP version. What is that one they called again? The Ops. Is it Ops? Anyway, yeah, they've been doing a lot of Metal Gear Solid achievements.
Oh, Portable Ops.
Portable Ops. That's the one. Yeah, he's been doing that, and he's been having a nightmare with some of the achievements that he's made. Like, there's a lot of RNG heavy. What is it like? You have to recruit members to your team by doing certain missions.
Yeah, you have to go certain missions.
But it can be totally luck based. I've never played this game. So
Portable Ops is very you could get Kojima, I think, at some point. You have to get him out of the back of a van or something.
Yeah. So it's like looking for shiny Pokemon. He did the comparison to.
Yeah.
So could you lower the difficulty of your achievements, please, Will White Warrior?
Yeah.
Thank you.
If you ever watch this, yeah. But yeah, again, that's quite a good point. Do you think some of these achievements are unfair? Do you think they're just kind of built to be just not unobtainable, but they're just built to annoy and stop people? Like, do you think some of these achievements could put people off if they're into it? They're like, this is just too hard. Why is it so hard?
I've not come across any game that was like totally unfair. There is very, very difficult achievements, but I wouldn't say it was unfair. From what a lot of people need to understand is achievement hunting. It like goes with anything, trophy hunting, the Xbox achievement hunting. It's all about the journey, right? It's all about you learning the game, you getting to that moment, you getting that dopamine hit, like we spoke about. It's all about building up to that. And sometimes when you get the really hard achievements and when you get them to pop, you're like, oh my god, I've just done it. It's like I've just done it, and you get, you're like, yes, didn't think I would ever get that. And there's something about getting the hard ones to get those to pop.
Yeah.
But No, I don't believe that there is ones that are like unfair.
Okay.
There are ones, like I say, there are very difficult ones.
Yeah.
Ones that are made probably for people that are the pros, or people who have been playing the game for many years. Like, there are a lot of subsets, which subsets are extra sets to that game, which you can download a file which gives you from the author, and you just have to like patch it into that ROM file or the game file that you have.
Yeah.
And then it tells Retro Achievements that you're doing this subset. So their subsets are mainly for these specialist players who have like knowledge of the game, or so there are a lot of ones for that. So yeah, it's that, and they are like the really hard ones. Like, for instance, let's go to Tekken 5,
Yeah.
right? There is a subset just for the is it Tekken? What's like the highest rank you can get on Tekken 5? Is it Tekken Lord?
I think it's Tekken Lord. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's been a while since I played Tekken 5 rank
so there's a
system.
subset right now on Tekken 5. Just you have to get every single character to Tekken Lord. So like that shows you, like, these subsets are for the extra, for these players that want to put more time in and get more rewards out.
Yeah. That's the ghost battle mode, isn't it? That one, I think.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So when you talked about the pop, like we talked about it briefly. We talked about the
yeah.
sorry, but why not? Why not Xbox then? Why not Sony? Why not be a trophy hunter? Why not be an achievement hunter on Xbox? Why not be a Steam hunter? Why achieve? Why retro? Why not? I mean, I think I did ask this question, but I think the answer was it kind of wait for that nostalgia hit. But again, I think my question, it's the same question, but maybe an alternative answer is why not? So forget the nostalgia, but why not?
Because obviously these games are not supported on these newer platforms. These games, like, you wouldn't see you playing. You wouldn't be seen playing Super Mario on the SNES on getting achievements for those, because, like, if you look at it, right, if you look at the current day system that we have now, you've got PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo, right? They are like the three major hitters. Nintendo don't even support achievements or anything near that, right? So what do Nintendo do? They have a very, very lackluster online system, and support for their online games, right? So they, there's something about these people, these creators, that are giving that to us off their own backs. When you have a big company like Nintendo who can't even be bothered to give us a trophy system. I mean, look how long Nintendo Switch came out after Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 era. I mean, so they could have done something there.
Yeah.
And then, like you say about like the trophy system, again, like most of these games are not even supported through that system. So for these systems, like you wouldn't see, like, I mean, I know there's a lot of remasters coming out now and stuff, but like you wouldn't see, I don't know, Crash Bandicoot 1 for example, like the very classic Crash Bandicoot 1 gets supported for achievements.
Yeah.
Like, I know PlayStation now do a lot of this, like a back catalogue of their older PlayStation games, like their PlayStation 1 games, but they don't support achievements, or they don't support trophies.
So I think my counter to some of that, this is my counter to some of that, was I'd say the Crash Bandicoots I wouldn't go for retro achievements on, purely because we've got the remasters, we've got the remakes.
Yeah, that was a bad example.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm just sort of like I'm kind of like I'm trying to think of what other people might think. So my thought would be, personally, I wouldn't do that. I would literally stick to the remakes because that's good enough for me.
Yeah, they're good. Yeah,
so when you talk about the PS1 games being no trophies on them for PlayStation, that is correct. But it's correct for certain publishers, Capcom being the biggest offender of that. Resident Evil Director's Cut, no trophies. Dino Crisis, no trophies. Worst thing as well, both, I think both actually, well, that one, actually, and Namco's another one. Dino Crisis is locked behind the highest tier of PSN. You have to be a premium tier subscriber to PSN to even access that, or you've got to pay for Dino Crisis. And you get no trophies with it. And it's just a port, basically the emulated port, which is fine. I'm not like fussed or whatever. But
no.
I would rather play Dino Crisis and get trophies for it than I would, play Dino Crisis again just to play Dino Crisis again. Tekken 2 was dropped. no trophies for that either, which is
I got that too.
Which
PlayStation 5.
Which is a damn shame. Again, a missed opportunity. But these two games, right, I would happily play achievements for because they're not supported on the PlayStation for trophies. But Blood Omen 2 were given trophy support. They were given it, and for me, straight away that stops me from playing them on this website. So for yourself, let me give you an example. Let's say I said, right, okay, Resident Evil Director's Cut, right? They do a patch on the PlayStation. You own a PlayStation, Nox, I'm assuming, yeah?
Yeah, I have a PlayStation 5, yeah.
Right.
It barely gets played, though. But
yeah. So let's say, right, they said, right, Resident Evil Director's Cut has trophies now. You can earn a platinum and a nice shiny plat. Boom, lovely.
Yeah.
Would you either, I mean, you've probably done it on here already, but would you either do it on achievements or would you do it on PlayStation?
I would do it on Retro Achievements.
Okay, why?
And
Why would
the sole fact is because I have built up a score on Retro Achievements. I think the community on Retro Achievements is second. Like it's out of this world. There are people always willing to help you on this website. Like you're part of this growing community, you know. Like with the stuff on PlayStation, I feel I owned a PlayStation as a kid, but I didn't have a PS3, so I missed out on that kind of stuff. So I feel like my score and stuff doesn't really matter on that side. But like on Retro Achievements, like it's so easy to pick up the game and play the game there and then. Like if you owned a copy of this game, right? And you put it in, and you got the backup version. Let's say you got the backup version. You're instantly be able to play it and start grinding through your achievements. With this, with Sony's one, you either have to pay an overpriced subscription fee for a 20-plus-year-old game, or you have to pay like $7.99 for a game. And it's like, well, I already own this game. It's like, I feel like there is so much more benefit from this website and what this website can give you. I feel like it's, I don't know, like I say, it's the community. The community just is something that you just carry on supporting, and you keep the cogs turning on this community-based website.
Do you think
that makes sense?
I mean, like we talked about, I totally understand where you're coming from there. I think it's like, you feel like you're, and that's a weird word to use, but it's a word that gets thrown around a lot. But inclusivity. You feel included, whereas on PlayStation, sometimes you get a trophy and you're looking around for, oh, okay, no one knows but me. Unless they look at my profile status and they go, oh, yeah, you platinum that. Oh, yeah, you did that.
Yeah.
No, but, I mean, trophy hunting is a very, very big thing. I mean, we started off this video talking about how I covered the Hakum situation. Mm-hmm. We also talked about, the benefits of being on this website are the community driven, whereas, they left Hakum out to dry, essentially, after being so connected. So do you feel safe knowing that, if you was to come back streaming and, Retro Achievements was something you really heavily incorporated and you started to gather, or you started to be a bit of a flag, I wouldn't say flag bearer because that's quite a strong term, but I would definitely say you started to become very, very invested. I mean, there's another person I can actually shout out to this. I mean, I don't watch them that often because their time zones are massively off to me, but the one person I do consistently see dropping Retro Achievements and popping them and talking about them is Super Sleepy T.
Oh yeah, I follow him.
Now,
great guy.
Now, I'll link everyone in the description box. But Super Sleepy T for me, like if someone said to me, who should I watch right now for Retro Achievements, that'd be the name I think of first, because he has done so many games. It is ridiculous. Grand Theft Autos across the board, Resident Evils. I think. The list is endless of what he's done.
Yeah, and I'm just looking right now. Sorry to cut you off there. But if you let me just look at his profile. Yeah. So I know Grand Theft Auto 3 just dropped like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Or 2 or 3 weeks ago as a set for PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
Now this guy, Super Sleepy T, is insane. He has almost mastered. If you look at, there you go. You've got his.
Yep, got it up here. Yep.
If you scroll down, he's been doing something different. He's been playing a different game.
Oh, he's playing Resident Evil 2 Zombie Crisis.
Oh, okay, and he's also played. Okay. Oh, look, he's just mastered. So look, he's just 100%ed mastered it on. By the way, hardcore mode is something we haven't touched upon yet.
Yeah,
I will get into that. So the golden badge is mastered. I will just give you a brief of it while we're here.
Let's talk about let's talk about this. Let's talk about mastered. Yeah.
So mastered is when you 100% a game on hardcore mode. Hardcore mode, and there's two modes. There's softcore and hardcore. When you log into your retro achievements on via your emulators, whether it be DuckStation, PCSX2, RetroArch, anything that you log into, it will have a little button, and it will say enable hardcore mode, yes or no. You either check the box, uncheck the box. So when hardcore mode gets enabled, you cannot make save states, you cannot run cheats, you cannot basically all the ways of getting an advantage to getting your achievements you cannot do. So that gives you an extra score also. I believe it gives you some extra rarity score for doing that, and you get a nice shiny badge on your profile with the gold overlay, I would say. So that looks nice, but it's just an extra way of saying that you earned these achievements by not cheating, because there's a lot of ways that you can cheat in softcore mode. You can just run, most emulators now have like a cheat command box where you can run a certain cheat and it will give you, I don't know, invincibility mode or extra money or whatever. But you cannot do that in hardcore mode. You have to play the game as it's originally intended. So that's the difference between the two. So as you can see here, Super Sleepy T, it's like as Lewis is running through here, you can see that he's been doing all of these games in hardcore mode. So he's been playing it the hardest possible way, or like the most natural way of playing the game without trying to get an advantage. But there is a little bit in the community where people are like, oh, you did your games in softcore mode, or oh, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And look, I don't really care about it. Not many people don't really care about it. Like, you play the games how you want to play them and how you want to enjoy them. That is what it's all about. But like, if you want to go for that extra difficulty or that extra, get that extra reward out of the game, I would say go hardcore mode. It's not that hard because obviously you're playing the game just as it was intended. Like, you picked up this physical game, you placed it in your console, and you're playing the game.
Yeah. Yeah, so
that's it. That's pretty much what hardcore mode is. Yeah,
it's an incredible profile to look at. It's very one of the people that we both we've watched at some point or another and follow. This is a really good example to show someone who really does put in the time, and he does stream all of this as well, doesn't he? I believe he streams.
He streams most of this. So if you can see here, like, he's going for a subset right now. So to touch back on what subsets are, he's doing the subset for GTA San Andreas. Yeah. So like, it's an extra set of achievements. If you click on that, if you scroll down, it's basically all about the casinos, and you're getting achievements for all the little casinos. So it's like an extra addition. If you want to carry on, you've just mastered a game, right? You're like, oh, there's a subset for this. Like, I can carry on playing the game and get an extra little bit of reward and a new badge.
Interesting.
So there's this game. This website has tons of potential. Like, tons of potential, and it's growing by the day.
Yeah.
Like, every emulator out there now pretty much now supports. I mean, RetroArch, you could always supported retro achievements, but like, there are a lot of standalone emulators, one you have to download from the website, like DuckStation, for example, and PCSX2. They come now preloaded with retro achievements, so it's pretty much all you got to do is click that button, enable retro achievements, sign in with your login details, and boom, you're in.
Excellent. Yeah.
It's there's nothing else to it.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah, to be honest, I think talking about it today, it's kind of covered the website quite, not super thoroughly, I'd say, but I definitely feel like if anyone's ever unsure and they want to, needed a bit more information, because it's always easy for someone to kind of explain it, but when it's always harder for someone to see. It's harder for them to see it, because I use this example a lot. You don't get people that are very well versed in computers or using things like this. Doesn't take that much. It's very simple to set up, very easy to do, And as we talked about the point system, you know, site rank, you know, where you rank out of, you know, I mean, I'm assuming out of 78,701, is that the amount of players would we say are currently using?
So yeah, so there are two leaderboards on this, which is site rank and softcore leaderboard. So if you want to like, you know, go for your softcore leaderboards. So there is a leaderboard for each of like the hardcore and softcore modes. But yeah, 78,701 is, I believe, the amount of users it has, or it might be the amount of users who have just started unlocking achievements, because there might be some users on here that have signed up but just not
never
popped an achievement yet.
Right, interesting. Yeah. Okay.
I think, don't quote me on that, but there might be just that out of those people who have got maybe a achievement.
Yeah. Excellent.
I haven't really looked into that side of it, but I'm trying to push myself into, say, Super Sleepy Tea is in the 0.89%. I don't know if I'll go that high. That is some dedication. Also, the games that Super Sleepy Tea goes for are games, again, that cannot be completed overnight.
As an example, it took him 1 month and 5 days to do Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. But Grand Theft Auto 3 done it in 15 days and 4 hours.
So that there is this is a little bit in the inaccurate side of Retro Achievements. Okay. I would say if we could change that, I would get that changed. So from the moment you start playing the game, that your clock starts running.
Right.
Even if you turn it off and turn your computers off, you can leave. And this clock still carries on running. So there are some games on my profile. It says it took me like 6 months to master, and it'd be like, well, no, I started playing it, I put it down for 6 months, and then I finished it off, but it still carries on. It says that you completed it in 6 months, if that makes sense. So I would say I wish Retro Achievements could, like, once you turn the game off, the clock stops running.
Yeah. Okay. I'm wondering then. I'm guessing like when I go to my profile, and there's a game. Let's choose one for instance, like Tekken 3.
Yeah.
I last played it August 19th, but I don't know when I started it. So.
Yeah. So it went.
The first one I got was August 19th. So yeah, 2024 August 19th. So yeah, it's gonna be a little while if that one gets done. I'll be honest with you. It's gonna be at least maybe a year, maybe more. I don't know. But yeah.
And another thing we didn't touch upon, I just want to quickly touch upon this, is that Retro Achievements you can play from anywhere. You don't need a PC.
That's a really good idea.
You just need a phone.
That's really good.
Where's my phone here has RetroArch installed. It's my daughter. Has RetroArch installed, and you can just like put your games on here, and off you go Retro Achievement hunting.
Really nice. That's really nice.
And I even bought this phone because it actually comes with a stylus.
Ah.
So I can play Nintendo DS games style.
There you go. I mean, you can buy these handheld things for Android. I have an Android, so you can plug it in and then just play it from play the phone game using using analog sticks. And so yeah, there are things out there. Oh look, he's ready. Look.
Tablet, you can connect a controller to that.
Joe, when you've done that just now, that reflection, right? I thought it was somebody standing there doing that, like. The figure on when you I thought someone was like, wait, doing a bit of that.
That's my Leon. That's my Leon Kennedy statue.
Oh Kennedy. But yeah, no.
But yeah, so like there are many ways to do these Retro Achievement hunting.
Excellent.
So you don't need a PC, don't need a top of the range PC. You just need some kind of device that's able to get onto Retro Achievements.
That's really good. Well, I think, to be honest, I think that kind of covers everything, really, to be honest.
Yeah.
There's not much more to really say, but I mean, if there's anything you'd like to say, please shout yourself out, Nox. Let the people know who you are.
So, I'm NoxxGaming 93. That is my first Twitch page, but you can, I mainly will go across and say that I do, I will be doing more stuff on Poke Trainer Nox on Twitch. I'm looking to get back into this as of next year. Because we are at my time of recording, we are just in the tail end of November. So I will come back into this next year, and we'll look at some sets, and we'll probably grind our way through some sets on there. There is like a catalog on my page of. There's a want to play section, so if you see a set, you can tick it.
Okay, right.
My want to play section is like 3 pages long.
Wow.
Like. I've just been see a game, I mark it. I'm like, let's and we'll see where we go from there. So I have a lot of games, and there'll be a lot of content that I can make on this. So you can catch me over on Poke Trainer Nox.
Nice one.
Shout out to Bazillion as well.
Yeah.
Big shouts out to him because he got me into this, and he's been we've been going through a couple of sets together. Which is this another thing of Retro Achievements. You know, you find a game and you're like, oh, you have common interest with your friends with this game. Let's grind them together, like, you know. So I've looked like Mr. Boyman Beard wants to like come in a call with me one night. We're like let's do some Tekken. Let's grind some Tekken, like, I don't know, 5 or something. Like,
a game like Tekken I can actually win on. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, but the possibilities are there. You know,
and really
you can play with a lot of friends, spot your achievements, and good luck, guys. If this is the introduction to Retro Achievements for you and you're interested, good luck. Welcome to the website, and just have fun. That's what it's all about. Have fun.
Brilliant. Yeah, and just like Nox said, you know, add him to your watch list as well. And thanks so much again for watching. I really appreciate it. Apologies for being so ill, but that's just the way it is. You got to keep the grind going. Got to grind.
Big congratulations to this guy, Mr. Boyman Beard, on his YouTube partnership. Much deserved. I've known this guy for how long? Like 5 years.
It's about 5 years. 5 years now, isn't it?
And we've done some shit.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. That's another video for another day, I think. But we'll leave that one. But yeah, nice one, man. Appreciate you coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, no, it's been a great video, man. I'm sure people loved this. So thanks a lot, man. Take care, and I'll speak to you later.
Bye bye.